Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Fear the Walking Dead video leading up to the 5th episode for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4. This will be a Q&A. The first question for this one is, do we think that Althea could actually be a spy for the Vultures? And spoiler warning, if you guys are not caught up for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, which is up to the 4th episode. So tonight, we have the premiere for Episode 5 for Season 4 of Fear, and I'm pretty excited for it. Can't wait to see how this whole thing kind of sorts out, and whether or not Madison is alive. Still, fingers crossed, still hoping that Madison turns out to actually be alive, captured, or just thought dead and then still alive, something of the sort. And if you guys didn't catch it today, got lots of videos coming for you guys. Made a couple Gotham videos because Gotham has been absolutely killing it lately, so those will be in the channel if you haven't seen those. Probably today, and then another one for Tuesday. And then did one today for The Walking Dead, the original Walking Dead series for Season 9, spotlighting and focusing on the Whispers, giving my thoughts on them going into the 9th season. So check out that video as well, too. It's in the channel if you guys haven't seen it yet. I'll have those in the end screen videos as well for you to click on after you're done watching this video. So definitely want to do at least one more Fear the Walking Dead Q&A before Episode 5, and then we'll, of course, get a new round of questions and a new round of things to talk about for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4. So the first one, this one, came in from Cygarniczka, who says, could Al be a spy for the Vultures? It makes sense considering she gathers info on survivors. And, you know, that's a funny one. I mean, I thought I would lead with this one. I never really thought about that, but when you bring it up, wouldn't that be a crazy twist if, you know, they make Al seem like she's really good and she helps out Morgan and she helps out John and she does this whole thing. But then again, she does gather info on people on the tape recording and everything, and she says that she was a journalist and that she's asking everybody about their story. She's trying to get as much information as possible. But could it be possible that she's doing that because she somehow is either connected with the Vultures or she trades, you know, information to the Vultures for supplies? Like, for example, if the Vultures had food and she's short on food, could she then go and take a tape and give it to them to give them information on somebody so they kind of know where their next target is? The Vultures have been very tricky so far, as we saw there with Charlie, as she kind of infiltrates the stadium and then gives all that information to the Vultures and then leaves. But I never really thought about Al. I never thought, because that's what she's doing. You know, what's your story? From the very first episode of Season 4, that's what she has been doing, is getting information on people. Now, from what we've seen in her so far, I tend to think, or at least for Cygarniczka, it's a cool theory, right? It's a cool theory. I tend to say I don't think so or no, because if they did that, it'd be such a drastic twist, and I don't feel like they have enough hero type of characters in Fear the Walking Dead to lose Al. So if you had Al end up being like Charlie and be a spy for the Vultures as well too, and have been, you know, collecting all this information in order to give it to them or something, because that's her job, let's say, I wouldn't like it, because it would just be too many characters going to the bad side. It would be that one extra character going over to the villains, and she just seems like such a good person so far. She seems like really positive hero type of character, and her whole kind of gimmick about her being a journalist and what's your story and just wanting to get everyone's story. I think maybe it's a coincidence or it's a similarity that the Vultures try to get information before they find a group and kind of go after them, and then kind of sit outside and do their tactics that they do. But you might have a point there. I mean, when you think about it, it's kind of like at first. So my first response was, no way, no, there's no way they could do that, and they could have her be a mid-season finale twist or something that she ends up being connected with the Vultures or actually being a Vulture or something. So I'd say no, I don't think so, and I think that the theory is false. I do not think she is, but man, if they did that, that would be a really crazy twist. So you guys can certainly leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about this. Like I said before, I just think it'd be too many good guys, kind of too many, not enough good guy characters at that point. The roster would be too low, it would be too small, and it wouldn't be good for the series. I think I'd like to see Maggie Grace's character continue as a good guy, because I think we need her there. We don't have that many in Fear, so she's a good ad, and I hope she stays on the good guy side. So that's my response for you, Cygarniczka. But that is a cool notice, and it's a cool similarity between her and Charlie that you might not see. Of course, when it came to Charlie too, I didn't notice Charlie playing with the radio and stuff like that, and then Nick coming over and be like, "What are you doing?" I didn't really notice the stuff she was asking questions about. I just thought it was a kid being a kid, right? She's asking questions about what they have and this kind of deal, and how long the food would last, and this whole thing. I really didn't think that she would be a spy for another community until we saw it happen. So I didn't even think it was suspicious until we saw it. And then you watch the tape back, you watch the episode back again, and it's like, whoa, that was a cool twist for sure. Chris Forbes says, Doug Goldberg hit it dead on the spot. I really wish Fear could have stayed the way it was. So if this was a response to Doug, another comment there, having stayed the way it was before, like in the first 3 seasons where you have it disconnected from The Walking Dead, you don't bring Morgan in, you don't do all that stuff. Well, this is the problem with that. I mean, you could do that and you probably get at least one more season out of Fear, but this is good for Fear. Having Morgan cross over as Nick is leaving, because Nick was going to leave either way. Frank was going to leave. It does not sound like he wanted to stay, right? He really wanted out. So if he really wanted out and you don't have that many survivors in Fear and you're going to lose him, you kind of have to bring in another A-lister. So to have Morgan cross over at that point, to use that to build up Fear, it was brilliant for Fear to continue. And I get what you're saying, that maybe you like season 3 better than season 4. But the problem is that you can't keep having season 3s. You can't keep killing people off like that, left, right, and center, and not having anybody to replace them with. And having it distant from the story, honestly, it probably to start with wasn't the best idea. The best kind of idea for Fear to start with probably would have been the crossover. And I think that the crossover doing with Morgan this season has helped rejuvenate Fear to the point where we'll probably get a season 5 now, is what I'm thinking. Lisa Evans says, why does it seem so important to find the Vultures? Revenge would be dumb. Do you think they kidnapped Madison? Maybe. For Lisa, and that could be the case. But it really seemed like Nick wanted to kill Ellis, I think was his name, something like that. The guy who he killed with the deer horns and stuff. The rack was it in the back? He got it, rack in the back, whatever. However that worked. He killed him, right? So the one that Nick killed him, killed the Vulture. Would it be dumb for them to want revenge? No, if Nick thinks that they killed Madison, then he's going to want revenge. If they captured Madison and he knew that, he might be asking where they have her, and then that would lead to that. But he didn't really say anything. So based on his behavior alone, that looks like he thinks they killed Madison. Based on the behavior, or maybe he knows Madison's out there somewhere and they got separated. Don't know, but he wanted to kill him and he didn't want to get information from him. So a kidnapped Madison wouldn't be, it's possible, but it would not be consistent with how Nick reacted unless Nick didn't know that and he just thought that they had killed her or something. Those are my thoughts on that. Ryder170 says, Trev, please never leave YouTube. So thanks, Ryder, and to all of those of you guys out there. And don't worry, I'm not going to. I'm going to continue with the channel. I've been locked in now. We're getting close to 3,650 videos, and we got just actually not that many left to go. Under 100 when I look at all my different channels combined, because I've had several channels over the year. Trev Channel 2 is the second channel out of those. The others didn't work or they got striked or whatever. YouTube used to be more strict on what you can do and things like that, and striking people and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry, Ryder. I'm still here if you guys want to support the channel, and I do appreciate all your guys' support. If you can keep watching the videos, that's great. If you can thumb up the videos, that's awesome. If you can spare it and you want to support the channel through Patreon, I'll put the link in the description, patreon.com/TrevChan2. Want to thank all you guys who have been supporting the channel through there. Even if you want to support it with $1 a month or something like that through Patreon, that's great. If enough people could do that, then I could guarantee that I'd be able to do YouTube consistently for going forward. But even with the decline in the popularity of The Walking Dead, the fact The Walking Dead is not what it once was. Still want to go forward with it, still want to make videos for Fear and videos for The Walking Dead, and those of you guys who can help out through Patreon, I appreciate it. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing as per usual, and try to enjoy it as much as I can for at least probably a few more years minimum, hopefully even longer. But you never know. You never know what changes they're going to make on YouTube. Last few years they've changed around all this stuff. It's made it way harder for us to continue to do YouTube videos, but I just do it, man. I do my thing, and that's what it is. So thanks for watching and the appreciation writer, and for all of you guys who watch. I thank you guys back, for all of your support is amazing. Torridd says, hey Trev, I don't want to beat up on Fear, but the circumstances in Nick killing the Vulture felt weird to me. If someone wanted to kill me, I would be pretty concerned, but the Vulture was very arrogant. But why? He wasn't bigger or stronger than Nick. He had no weapon of note, hand-to-hand expertise, nor hostage. So what would stop Nick from killing him? The answer is nothing. So you have an enraged guy wanting to kill you, and you just go in a storage box with your back turned, not worrying about anything. And that's true. He did somehow get a knife there, didn't he, in that exchange? But yeah, I think probably because he was younger, probably because he's used to being a bully. That's what I think. I think the Vultures are a bunch of bullies, and they're basically bullying people around, racing them to supplies, eavesdropping, taking their stuff, doing what they're doing, that over time, after a few years in the zombie apocalypse, he just has got the Morgan, rub. He's like, I don't die. This guy ain't going to kill me. This kid ain't going to kill me. And then it turns out that Nick is strong enough to actually kill him and is able to kill him. He's enraged enough. And that's the other thing about bullying, the person who's being bullied is going to be really, emotional about the situation, whereas the person who's not, or who's doing the bullying or whatever, a lot of times doesn't really care. So, it's like if someone wrongs someone else, the person who's been wronged is going to be angry and is going to want to go after the person who wronged them. The person who wronged them in some ways might be at a bit of a disadvantage because emotionally they probably are not that invested in the fight, or they don't really care. So they could get, but then again, it can be a benefit if they know what they're doing, and the person who's really emotional becomes overly aggressive, they can overcommit, and if the person knows what they're doing, they can actually beat them, because emotion in a fight is not always a good thing. It can be, but it can make you reckless and over-aggressive and over-committing, and then you can get countered pretty easily, or you can put yourself in harm's way if you don't you can't really keep a cool head, but at the same time, you can't go so crazy that you leave yourself open and you just, start swinging for haymakers and stuff, and some guy just comes and starts jabbing you or something, you know what I mean, as you're swinging wildly and stuff. So it's a good example of how sometimes emotions can be beneficial and sometimes they can be not beneficial. For him, I just think you're right. I think he was very arrogant, and he's been alive for a long time, so he probably figured that this punk's not going to be able to take him out and isn't going to have the guts, and just doesn't even respect him or even pay any attention to him. Mr. Pondy says, what do you think the Vultures, or why do you think the Vultures appear to have no weapons? And that's very true. That's one thing about the Vultures, is that, they don't appear to be all that strong. The ones that are outside of the stadium, I'm looking at what the stadium has, and I'm seeing the Vultures sitting around chilling out in the open, exposed, right? And you have just relaxing there, with their vehicles turned off and things like this. And they can't see. If Madison and the others loaded up all their vehicles with all their weapons and just drove out there and maybe started running people over and firing on everybody, some of the Vultures might try to get away, but most of them would probably be wiped out in that process. I guess Madison doesn't want to do that, or maybe it's just like she figures that the Vultures have the upper hand because the Vultures know them and they don't know the Vultures. So that's what makes it kind of tricky. Also, the Vultures could be connected to other groups out there that we don't know about, other Vulture groups. It's hard to say. So maybe we'll see some of that pretty soon. Ratchet the Awesome One says, hey Trev, how come you never got Fear the Walking Dead Season 3 on DVD or Blu-ray? Do you plan to eventually? I got Fear Season 3 on DVD because it was an incredible season. Yeah, exactly, man. I want to get a Ratchet. I want to, and I feel like eventually I will. I probably should have gotten it already, but I've just been really busy with everything else, so I wouldn't have time to go through the whole thing and do a review or anything. it wasn't that well received, right? So, it's like, I'd like to buy it. Maybe I'll use, if I get a gift card for Christmas this year or something through my work or something, then maybe I'll use a gift card to get it, is what I'll probably do. So, so I do plan on getting it eventually, because Fear Season 3 is incredible. Absolutely, no doubt. Jason D says, Fear the Walking Dead, Q&A Trev, what do you think the chances are they bring Tobias from Season 1 back now? No, man, no more Tobias. No, I'm consistently getting a bunch of these, okay? Tobias is not Morales. It's a different situation, and I don't want to... No, okay? If you don't even have Nick in the series anymore, really, you got to let that one go, guys. You got to let the Tobias thing go. This is not a Morales 2.0 situation. I'm not doing this again. I am not doing this again, okay? Just to say. Angus Game says, is Z Nation any good? And, I've done some videos on Z Nation this week, or one anyway. It's not bad. It's a fun show. It's silly fun. And if you want to see like a zombie apocalypse comedy, Z Nation is something to check out. It really kind of feels B-movie-ish to me. It feels like kind of just, not amateurish, but just kind of like silly fun a lot of the time. They've had a few great episodes, though, throughout the series, so it's something to check out if you really love zombie apocalypse stuff and you want to see something not as serious as The Walking Dead, right? Nathan Clemens says, Season 4 has been fantastic. And I do agree that the first quarter of this season with Season 4 has been awesome. The crossover with Morgan that they did, kind of the twist with Charlie, and the major character death that just made us all go, what the hell are they doing? And scratch our heads. You're right. It has been fantastic, and I can't wait to see the rest. It's been awesome, man, for sure. Let's see. Next one, we'll do a couple more from Andrew Feld, who says, I feel for you, John, but you know that Naomi Laura will die sooner or later in this series. Might as well rip off the Band-Aid right now and move on, John. I hear Lucy's back on the market. Savage, Andrew. Nice. Neela Michelle says, I believe Madison is dead. When the four of them stopped Al on the road and Madison wasn't with them, I knew that she was dead. I just want them to finally say it or show it. So it sounds like Neela is convinced that Madison is dead. And I'll tell you what, if I'm hoping you're wrong. If you're right, you can say I told you so, Trev. Okay, when we get there. All right, Neela. And the last one will be from Speed Cooper 71. It says, I am hating this season so far. Morgan is the only reason I'm watching. So, give it a chance. These other characters, I think that Al's a really cool character. Alicia's great. Madison, if she's still alive, is great too. Strand is fun and different. We have never had a character like Strand before in The Walking Dead, I would say. Yeah, man, I feel like there's enough in Fear to keep it going for at least a while, so long as they don't kill off anybody else who's drastically important. And man, I'm really appreciating Fear this season. Walking Dead's been over. It hasn't been as hot as it was prior, but Fear has been, people have been really enjoying Fear, so that's great, and I'm happy to see that, and I'm looking forward to this second half of the first half of Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 starting tonight. That'll be it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please thumb it up below. Check out the Patreon, like I said, below in the description. And that's it for this video, guys. We'll see you back again tonight for the reviews for this episode. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.